Pakistan has just freed an Indian pilot captured when his plane was shot down over Kashmir. You're now looking at pictures of Wing Commander Abhinandan, who is, within the past few minutes, walked across the Wagah-Atari border crossing between India and Pakistan. Wagah is the Pakistani side, Atari is the Indian side. As you can see, he's looking in relatively good condition. He is accompanied by a few officials. Now, his release has been delayed for hours. We've been monitoring the situation at the Wagah-Atari border for the last few hours. There's no reason being given for his delay, but now the moment has come, the moment that people on the Indian side had been waiting for hours to see their Wing Commander Abhinandan back home on Indian territory. Crowds had been waiting to receive him, but they dwindled as the delay carried on. Let me now take you live to Delhi to our correspondent, Nimisha Jaiswal. She's been monitoring the situation from there. Nimisha, as I was saying, there has been hours and hours of delay before Wing Commander Abhinandan was released. Give us a sense of the mood in India now that the news has finally come that he's back home.
Well, Amrita, the wait has definitely been a long one. Initial reports were that he would be handed over at about 4 p.m. Indian time, but it's been well over 5 hours since then. The reports are also at this point that this is basically because of procedural delays and delays in processing documentation. But of course, there's been a hero's welcome that's been set up here since the morning, actually, because of course information has just been trickling in about when exactly, how exactly he would be transferred through. There were reports that India wanted to send in an Indian Air Force jet to pick him up, but the Pakistani side denied this and actually said that he would be sent through the border. So, of course, now that visuals are finally coming through, there was also a bit of tension building as the delays kept becoming elongated about what exactly was happening. But now that there are actually visuals of Wing Commander Abhinandan coming through, there's of course relief on the Indian side, and of course a larger hope also for de-escalation of the tensions that have been building over the last few weeks.
And of course, Nimisha, in India there was a lot of anxiety about the fate of this pilot when the initial visuals of him came out, with a blindfold and blood on his face, visuals which were later deleted in Pakistan. Now, Pakistan says it is releasing Wing Commander Abhinandan as a gesture of peace. How is this being viewed in New Delhi?
Well, Amrita, the reaction from New Delhi has actually been far more reserved than what Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has said, that this is a gesture of peace. But from New Delhi, just last evening there was a press conference, a press briefing held by the heads of the military armed forces, where they said that they are prepared for any kind of action from the Pakistani side and that they would only react to the pilot's release once it actually went through. India has also been emphasizing that Pakistan is simply following the Geneva Convention. There's not any major credit that's being given at this point, at least so far, about Pakistan's or Prime Minister Imran Khan's gesture of peace. It is also worth noting that India emphasizes that Pakistan is not doing enough. The release of this Indian pilot who was captured is definitely seen as abiding by the Geneva Convention, but is still not seen as doing enough to promote peace between the two countries. India says that it carried out an airstrike because Pakistan was refusing to take action on the information India was handing over. Pakistan, of course, counters this, saying it is taking all the action that it had committed to taking back in 2004 against terror, and that India is actually the country that needs to accept their peace offer.
And of course, there are great international calls for de-escalation, Nimisha, as we've been hearing. When two nuclear armed neighbours are not seeing eye to eye, there's always a lot of concern. But what are the people saying on both sides of the border?
Well, again, Amrita, back when the actual terror attack happened in Kashmir, now all this escalation has been building since February 14th, when in the Kupwara district there was a terror attack that took the lives of 40 Indian security forces soldiers. And back then there was a large call across India for action against Pakistan. There were even rallies and calls on social media for action against Pakistan. And when the action did take place within 2 weeks, there was a lot of cheering on this end too. However, when the retaliation from the Pakistan Air Force materialized the very next day, and this was the worst escalation between the two countries in almost 5 decades, there was also a lot of concern coming in from both sides. The hashtag Say No to War began trending on Twitter from in India and Pakistan, where many concerned civilians actually stepped up and said that this is not the path the two countries should be taking. And of course, they acknowledged the fact that two nuclear-armed countries letting tensions escalate in this way was not going to be good for either side. So definitely the release of this Indian pilot is a step in that direction, a step that civilians have also said that they would appreciate on both sides. But of course, peace would still be a long way to go, given that talks, India says, need to be restructured for it to take Pakistan's efforts to fight terror more seriously.
Certainly this evening there'll be a mood of celebration as Wing Commander Abhinandan arrives home. Thank you so much, Nimisha Jaiswal in Delhi, for your update from there.